Hello and welcome to a special edition of a Cheltenham preview with Robbie Power. Oil Sports Ambassador has kindly taken some time out of his busy schedule to join us. Welcome, Robbie.
Hi, Vincent. How are you?
I'm good, thanks. Now, rather than going through the standard preview, which I think people are probably sick of at this stage, with only 4 days to go to Cheltenham, we might do something a little different and just focus on Henry de Bromhead's horses. One thing to note here is last year, Henry had 25 runners at Cheltenham, 2 winners and 10 more placed, including a 40 to 1 and a 22 to 1. The previous year, he 27 runners, 3 winners, and a load more placed, including a 22 to 1 winner. So over the years, if you back Henry de Bromheads each way at Cheltenham, you will make money. So let's hope we can find some winners or at least some big price placed horses here, because he's plenty of horses going, Robbie, hasn't he?
Yeah, Henry's got a lovely team going this year. Probably in around 18. Maybe not as big as other years, but a very nice select team going over. And look, as the stats you've read out there prove, he's just a genius at getting horses to peak for this festival. He's been doing it for a long time now, and I've been working for Henry for 2.5 years now, and he's just, everything revolves around Cheltenham, and he's just, as I say, a genius at getting them ready for this week.
Yeah, and like people would be watching this and saying, his form coming into this hasn't been that good. Did a very good early season there before Christmas. Horses were flying, winners all over the place, and Stevens' day, I remember. But had a little bit of a quiet patch, but there have been some winners in the last few weeks. You'd be happy everything is primed to peak next week.
Yeah, absolutely. A very good start to the year, and then a very, very good Christmas as well. I think we had 7 winners over the Christmas period, including 4 on Stevens' day. And a lot of Henry's horses, the way he trains them, that's them done then after Christmas, with Cheltenham in mind. And January was a bit quiet, but look, every yard has a little dip in the season, and that was our time. And look, they look fantastic now at the moment. They all seem in very good form. We've had a few nice winners. Cocktail Devon was a nice winner in Epperson the other day. So, yeah, the signs are good.
Great stuff. Well, look, we'll kick on. Go into the Supreme, where you have a definite contender here in Workahead. This was very impressive at Christmas. Winning a maiden hurdle by 7 lengths in Leopardstown, had William Money back in second, who's also a contender in this. Obviously, you've got a very short price favourite in the Supreme. We've got this Kopek de Bordes, who looks special, to be honest with you, in what he produced the last day. But what about Workahead? It's an unusual preparation, is it, to win a maiden and go straight to the Supreme for Henry? He'd normally run them in graded races generally.
Yeah, that's the plan after he won 11% of Christmas, was to go straight to the Supreme. Obviously, winning a maiden, you're not sure what strength and depth there was to it, but this one in particular has worked out very, very well. William Money was very impressive in Punchestown a couple of weeks ago, and that gave the form a good boost. He's a very, very nice horse, and he should go well. You know, I think Cocktail or Kopek de Borg was a horse that had a huge amount. I was very, very impressed with him in Leopardstown at the Dublin Racing Festival. I didn't think there was a standout in the 2 mile division until Kopek de Borg put up that performance in Leopardstown at the DRT, which was very, very good. And hopefully he'll be joined here as well by Skylord, who was very impressive when he won his maiden hurdle in Cork earlier in the season. Things didn't just quite go right from the last day when he was placed in the Moscow Flyer in Punchestown, but he seems in very, very good form, and he'll take his chance here as well, hopefully.
Great stuff. And just about Workahead, made all the run in the Leopardstown race. Would that be the plan again, would you think?
We're not going to discuss tactics here, Vincent.
Yeah, fair enough, yeah. But it just, as you know yourself, making the run in Cheltenham in one of those Supreme novices mightn't be the ideal way of going about it, but I'm sure you do have a plan. Anyway, we'll move on. We've got the ultimate, the short go. This could have a chance, couldn't it? Hampered when falling into Troy Town, but it has Cheltenham form before, which is interesting. I always like ones that have a bit of form around the track.
Yeah, he has some nice form in Cheltenham over course and distance. But he was second to senior chief. Good ground will definitely help the short go, and he goes there with an each way chance. Obviously, the Ultimate is an ultra competitive race, but he's sneaking in the right end of the handicap, and hopefully he'll run well. You know, he's, as I say, course form is huge, and he's been freshened up and seems in good form.
And then we move on to the other main runner you're going to have on the first day, is in the Mares Hurdle. July Flower, very interesting horse here, was originally with Henry and ran first time out in a Grade 2 bumper at Aintree behind Dice and then changed stable and went off to France, and is in very good form in France before rejoining. He was third in a French champion hurdle, only a length and a quarter behind Hewick. What do you make of July Flower? Obviously, the complexion of this mare's hurdle has changed a bit in the last couple of days because it looks like Lossiemouth is going to go there instead of the champion.
Yeah, July Flower, lovely race in Leopardstown at Christmas. She was very impressive when she beat Calaconte. And this has always been the plan for her after that win at Christmas. And obviously, we were all hoping both Brighter Days Ahead and Lossiemouth would go to the champion hurdle. It looks like Lossiemouth is going to come here now, but she goes there with an each way chance, definitely. And she's a very talented mare. As you say, she was third in the French champion hurdle, not beaten that far. So she's got some very strong form in the book.
Great stuff. And just talking about that champion hurdle, which is obviously going to be one of the vintage races on the opening day. It's a pity, I suppose, to some extent that Lossiemouth isn't going to run. But to be honest with you, I wasn't absolutely sure Lossiemouth was going to be a major contender after the fall the last day. Wasn't the ideal preparation. But with Constitution Hill, Brighter Days Ahead, State Man, it's still a cracker. And we know there's going to be a fast pace. Would that affect, do you think, how, like, obviously the fast pace is going to be something that the other riders besides Jack Kennedy on Brighter Days Ahead are going to have to take into consideration? How would you do that if you were either riding Constitution Hill or State Man? What would your plan be here? Would you be worried about them going too quick and trying to sit back, or would you be thinking maybe they're not going quick enough, I've got to sit in Brighter Days Ahead's tail? How does that work?
Look, it's you've got to ride your horses, you feel, and we all go out as jockeys with plans in our head, and there's no doubt they're going to go strong here. King of King Street is going to make the run and set a strong pace for Brighter Days Ahead, which is very important to her. Nico will want to sit as close as he can to her without giving her too much rope, without putting Constitution Hill on his head. But I don't think whatever pace they go with that Brighter Days Ahead and King of King Street can get Constitution Hill out of his comfort zone. And I'd imagine Paul Townend will be tracking away on Stateman and having a go. You know, it looks a fantastic. It'll be a small field, but it's going to be a fantastic race. And tactically, it's going to be very straightforward for everyone to work out. Everyone knows it's going to be a strong pace. So Nico will be stalking, I'd imagine, Brighter Days Ahead all the way and having a go going to the last. And if they do go too fast, I'm sure Paul Townend will be in the position to pick up the pieces on Stateman, who won this race last year. And I think a strong pace, coming off a strong pace, will suit him.
Yeah, it's going to be a cracker, isn't it? God, you'd love to see the three of them coming down to that last within a couple of lengths. It'd be fantastic. We move on. Second day. The Turners, I see you have a few entered there. I'm not sure you have any runner. I see one of them, Good and Kind, is a reserve on Sunday at Nace. That's an interesting horse, actually, Good and Kind. Could be one that have a chance on Sunday, I would have thought. But moving on, the Brown Advisory, Gorgeous Tom, I presume this runs, does it? Loves good ground, which is the key, isn't it?
Yeah, Gorgeous Tom definitely runs. Hopefully, anyway, fingers crossed, everything goes well. He seems in good form. I think stepping up to 3 miles will really, really suit him, especially on good ground, which hopefully he's going to get now, looking at the forecast and things like that. But I think this race is one of the most competitive races. Again, probably not a big field, but it's one of the most competitive races of the whole week in the novice division. Ballyburn was exceptional. That was heard there last season. Got beaten by Sergino over 2 mile at Kempton, but I wouldn't worry about that. He was very impressive at the Dublin Racing Festival, and he sets a very, very high standard. He'll be the one they all have to beat, but hopefully, I think Gorgeous Tom has a very good each way chance.
Yeah, sure. He's beaten practically nothing in that Drinmore, wasn't he? Only beaten less than a length, I think, in the end. I'd love to see him over the longer trip as well.
Finishing very, very strongly in the Drinmore, another 20 yards he'd have got up. So definitely think on good ground, stepping up to 3 mile will bring around hopefully more improvement.
Great stuff. Then the Coral Cup, Ballyadam, does that run?
Yeah, hopefully so.
Great stuff.
He ran a great race in this race last year. He was second to Langer Dan. Yeah, he definitely goes there. He's got good course form and good ground will definitely suit him. So yeah, he's just an admirable horse, Ballyadam. He always runs his race and he had a nice win in Punchestown on New Year's Eve, I think it was. So goes here with a bit of confidence, hopefully.
Yeah, I don't know whether Langer Dan runs here. He's top weight, but he's also in the stairs. But if Langer Dan runs here, he beat Ballyadam 3.5 lengths last year, but Ballyadam is now 13 pounds better off, which makes it look like he's well handicapped to run a big race anyway. The nice price, I see, he's 14-1 with Boyle Sports at the moment. You've Beckett Rock in there as well with that run.
Yeah, possibly as well. He was ran a very good race in Fairyhouse a couple of weeks ago, was second in a competitive handicap hurdle. he's a nice horseback at Rock, and I'd imagine he'll take his chance as well.
Great stuff. Moving on, the Queen Mother, the big race on the second day. Henry's won this 4 times, and the shortest price winner he's ever had is 17-2. So you get a bit of value when he has a winner in it, including Captain Guinness, who won at a big price last year. Captain Guinness and Quilixios both in. Quilixios also a former festival winner too. So like, you're bringing good festival form into this with the 2 horses. They have to have some chance, even though John Bond looks a bit of a nailed-on certainty overall. And his overall form, even though his Cheltenham festival form mightn't be the greatest.
Yeah, the Champion Chase over the last couple of years has thrown up some big price winners, including Captain Guinness last year when El Fabiolo was taken out of the race early on. So, yeah, you never know. John Bond does look very, very good and be very, very hard to beat. I thought Quilixios ran a very good race when he was second to him in the Tingo Creek. He beat Marine National in the race before that. He's been in good form. Little bit below par at the Dublin Racing Festival, but he seems in very good form now, and he'll probably take his chance alongside the captain, who was a very good winner this race last year. He always seems to come to form at the spring of the year, so he'll take his chance again and take John Bon out if he looks a wide open Champion Chase. I think good ground would be a hindrance to Inner Jameen, so we'll have to take our chance and see what happens.
Great stuff. At 28-1 each year or two. In that, there has to be some each way value on one of them. Quilixios would be the one for me, because I thought his run with Marine National, he beat him fair and square that day. Nice reproduction of that. You have to be there or thereabouts. That was on decentish ground, I think, as well. Moving on, the Grand Annual, you have a couple of entries. Sorry, I don't know whether either of them run. Did they Dancing on My Own or Jasco the Dames?
Yeah, both Dancing on My Own and Jasco the Dames. If they get their good ground, they'll probably take their chances. Dancing on My Own is just such a consistent horse, has won around Cheltenham before, and good ground is important to both of them. So if they got good ground, they definitely both take their chances in the Grand Annual. That's good. Has had a good season as well, so they're both in good form.
Yeah. Then moving on, Thursday, we got the Mares Novices, the opening race in the day. There's quite a few entries here, but I'm not sure if any of them run. Air of Entitlement, I think, is heading to Limerick, is it? And Teresi, they're both entered in Limerick on Wednesday in a graded hurdle. Do either of them go?
We'll monitor the situation and see with ground and what the second half of the week forecast and things like that look like. But I'd imagine Air of Entitlement will probably go. She was a very good winner in Down Royal, and on Stevens' day she won impressively, and the form of that maiden has worked out very, very well. So she more than likely will go once the ground is plenty safe. She'll go and take her chance. She's a nice mare, Air of Entitlement. She's only had the one run this season, which is not ideal. You'd love to have got another one into her, but yeah, she'll go there in good form. She'll be fresh and well.
Great stuff. 16-1 with Boyles at the moment. So yeah, that's a tempting one again. Then you've got the Jack Richards Novice Handicap Chase. Chantruse is in this 25-1. Down the field, the Albert Bartlett a couple of years ago, but had a good run recently in Navan, finished second.
Yeah, he won't go.
Oh, he won't go, will he not? That's a pity. Thought he had a little squeak as well, but there you go. Then we have the RyanAir. This looks a cracking renewal now. We've got some serious horses in this, because it did look early in the season like a lot of these might have gone for the Gold Cup potentially, but we've got Protectorat, Spillans Tower, Ile Francais and Factifile. And then you've got 3 in here from Henry's. Envoy Allen, second last year, won it 2 years ago. Heartwood, 16-1 chance, it was 4 to Gallop and Deschamps at Christmas. And Journey with Me is one of the outsiders. What do you think here? Will they all run, or at least 2 of them?
Journey with Me won't go. He went very house. He won there last year. Possibly run 3 here. Heartwood, Jungle Boogie, and the yard favourite Envoy Allen, who's won the race before. He's actually had the exact same preparation this year as he's had 2 years ago when he won the race. He won in Down Royal, ran disappointingly in the King George's. I think at this stage we have to accept now he doesn't like Kempton, and came on then and won the RyanAir. I think this is one of the most competitive races of the whole week, with the likes of Ile Francais more than likely coming here now. Protectorat, who won this well last year, beating NYLN, and then Factifile, who won the John Durkin earlier in the season and was no match for Gallop and Deschamps. There's no shame in that. Dropping back to 2.5 mile might just be buying up his street. Factifile. So I think this is a huge strength and depth to this race, and drying ground will definitely help MYLN. So definitely has to have each way chances.
Yeah, but again for you then. Loves down Royal. That's the first thing. And also loves Cheltenham. Rarely runs a bad race in Cheltenham. So you've got to think you've got a chance. I know it's a very strong, deep race, but I'd still be thinking there's some sneaky bit of value in here at 14-1 each way.
He's won at 3 festivals MYLN and probably unlucky not to win at 4 when he fell in the Turners a few years ago. So he always runs a good race around Cheltenham, and touch wood, he'll do the same. He's just he's a horse of a lifetime really for connections, and having him in the yard, very lucky.
Fantastic, yeah. And then we go on to the Stayers Hurdle. This is another cracking race. We've got T Hoopu obviously going for back-to-back wins. I'd have slight reservations about the ground if it does turn up quick, but maybe I'm wrong there, we'll see. But you have 2 in here. Bob Ollinger, 25-1. Twice a festival winner. And we've also got Hidden Valley Lake also at 25-1. For me, Bob Ollinger at 25-1 looks like a bigger chance than Hidden Valley Lake. Will they both run?
No. We'll monitor the situation with ground and things like that. If the ground was to, for some reason, to turn soft, it'll be Hidden Valley Lake. But if the ground stays what it looks like going to be on the good side, then Bob would go. Again, another yard favourite, Bob. He's won 2 Cheltenham festivals. He's won 3 times in Cheltenham. Was a very impressive winner of the Relkeel last New Year's Day last year. And yeah, I wouldn't put anybody off. He's a favourite of mine as well now, Bob, and I wouldn't put anyone off having a few quid in him each way. He loves good ground. He travels very well. I can definitely see him crossing the roadway coming to the last on the bridle, but T-Hoopu, in the same ownership of Rob Power, will be very, very hard to beat. He's the horse that I rode my last race on and rode my last graded winner on. I know how good he is. He's won over 2 mile. He would prefer an ease in the ground, but I don't think he's ground dependent. I think he's stamina dependent. T-Hoopu, good ground, he struggles over a shorter trip, and that's why Lossiemouth was able to get the better of him in the Hatton's Crace this year, where last year when he beat Willie's horse Imperial Pass, offside, and same when he beat Honeysuckle, the ground was on the soft side. So over 2.5, he needs testing ground. Over 3 mile, there's enough stamina left for him. I think he'll be fine on ground. I think he'll be hard to beat, but I wouldn't put anybody off having a few quid on Bob Ollinger. I think he'll definitely be on the bridle crossing the road coming to the last.
Fantastic. It'll be exciting if you're on at 25-1 each way. That'll be a nice one, all right. Moving on to Friday, start off with the Triumph. I'm not sure if you'll have a runner in this. I think you've only got the 1 entry. It's Bilbo. I think that's entered Limerick Wednesday as well. But this looks a cracking Triumph, to be honest with you. East India Jock, Lalumba, Hello Neighbour. There's a couple of real odd ones in here too that were fantastic on the flat. Mondo Man and Palladium. If one of them turns up and actually jumps all the hurdles properly and takes to the race, Jesus, we could see some performance here, couldn't we?
Yeah, we could. And there's a lot of talking horses as well. East India Doc's been very impressive over course and distance earlier in the season. Question marks over form and what he's beaten. Lulamba form was let down badly when Mondo Man was beaten in Kempton the last day, well beaten. So that form is a little bit question marks over. And I'm a big fan of Gavin Cromwell's horse, Hello Neighbour. I think it speaks volumes about the horse that Gavin started him off in a grade 2 at Leopardstown on Christmas. Shows the regard he held him in. Didn't jump great on that occasion, jumped better at the Dublin Racing Festival. Needs to probably brush up on his jumping a little bit. But I think the way this race is going to be run is going to really suit Hello Neighbour. I think it's going to be a strong pace. Keith Donoghue will be patient on him and will be having a go going to the last. And every time we've seen Hello Neighbour, he's travelled to the last like he's going to go and win 4 or 5 lengths. And I just think he just does it off when he gets to the front. He's still a very person. I think when he gets to the front, he just thinks it's all over. So I think up that hill in Cheltenham will bring out the best in Hello Neighbour. And if I ever having something in the race, I'd be having a Hello Neighbour at the prices.
There you go. That's interesting now, because he was one I wasn't particularly fancying, but maybe you're changing my mind here. I just thought because he's only won narrowly in the 2 graded races he's running, but having said that, maybe he is only just doing enough, and Gavin obviously holds him in very high regard to run him in a graded race first time, as you say. Yeah, that could be, but this is a cracking race.
It's a fantastic race. And look, Lulamba could be improving, and Nicky Henderson he's won this race a heap of times, and he's a genius at getting them ready for it. And there could be huge improvement from Lulamba to come, and it could just blow them all away because there's been serious hype about him. But on what I've seen on the track, I just think Hardy tough. Hello Neighbour for me.
Yeah, great stuff. Of course, Willie has won it, I think, 4 of the last 5 years or something, and he's got a few in it too, including that Lady Vega Alen, which has been behind Hello Neighbour, I think, twice now at this stage, but you wouldn't be surprised to see Willie pop up with one again. Moving on, the county hurdle. Don't know if you'll have a runner on this, but I just wondered, it interests me for several reasons. Raglan Road, 20 to 1 at the minute. Does that go? Or possible runner?
I honestly don't know at the moment.
Yeah.
I don't know, to tell you the truth. It'll all depend on ground and things like that. But yeah, we won't know at the moment.
Yeah, because I saw Raglan Road. He was actually entered for Nason Sunday, but doesn't run, which made me think maybe there's a switch back to Cheltenham. But he's a JP horse with a very nice run the last day and a comeback, finished 5th and 19 at Navan. And there's quite a few nice horses in that race. I thought it was a good run. He'd be one to watch out for wherever he turns up anyway. Moving on then, the Albert Bartlett. This is probably one of your big ones of the week, is it? The big Westerner.
Yeah, she's a really nice mare, big strong mare as well. Was really impressive in Punchestown in her maiden hurdle, and then stepped forward in Limerick at Christmas when she won the Grade 2 down there. That was an impressive performance. We think she wants 3 miles. She looks like she stays really, really well. She won a point very impressively as well. So it goes there. I'm a little bit concerned. I'm hearing rumours that Final Demand is going to come here now as well. So that would add a huge amount of spice to this race if Final Demand comes here. But she's a really nice mare. The big Westerner, it's the old cliche. Whatever she does this season is going to be a bonus. She'll make a lovely chaser. But she definitely goes here with a big chance, and we'll be hopeful, fingers crossed. We honestly don't know whether drying ground will suit her or hinder her. We honestly don't know. She seems to cover plenty of ground and travel well on the gallop. So yeah, we'll see. I think she's a really nice mare.
Yeah, she's currently 4 to 1 with Boyle Sports, but of course if Final Demand switches here, she'd be a bigger price. We might be on each way. What's interesting as well with Big Westerners, her half brother, Stay Away Faye, won this race 2 years ago, so that's a definite pointer in the right direction. The best of luck with her, because she looks very good. I really liked her at Limerick at Christmas. I thought it was a very good performance. Moving on.
Sorry. She's very relaxed and laid back. She does what it says in the tin, there's no touch wood, just doesn't seem to be any complications with her. She's just a very nice, likeable, straightforward mare.
Fantastic, yeah. Look forward to her. Then we go on to the big one, the Gold Cup. Galloping Deschamps looks almost unbeatable. I would have thought he's some horse. I've gone in the last few months, I've gone and looked back at a lot of his races over the last couple of years. And what I find amazing is he never makes a mistake. It's very rare in those staying chases. You go back to last year's Gold Cup, all sorts of contenders in it, but they're fluffing fences, they're making, going in too close, all sorts of little minor errors that you wouldn't think would make a big difference. But when you've got a horse like him who just never seems to make a mistake, he jumps every fence perfectly. I'd say he's a jockey's dream, is he?
Oh God, if there was one horse running at the festival next week, any jockey wants to ride, it's Galloping Deschamps. He jumps, he travels, he's so relaxed. I'd say you could ride him whatever way you want in the race. He's just so straightforward and an unbelievably talented horse. His performance at the Dublin Racing Festival and at Leopardstown at Christmas were both exceptional. And his form around Cheltenham is unbeaten. He's just bar the fall. He had it, but he was very unlucky when Bob Mullinger picked up the pieces, but he should be unbeaten around Cheltenham. And I think this is possibly the weakest of the 3 Gold Cups he's running. We obviously, the likes of Jerry Colomb, who's not around, who was second to him last year, he's not around to take him on this year. Fact Defy looks like going to the RyanAir, so great launch
as well.
4 of them here, so I think it looks straightforward from, I think, Paul Tower will jump out and make the run, and we'll see what happens. But hopefully Monty Starr can pick up the pieces if anything goes wrong, or give him a big race of it. He missed the first half of the season. He had a nice run in Tremor on New Year's Day, and stepped forward, another nice run at the Dublin Racing Festival. We think he'll improve an awful lot from that. It's going to be unbelievably hard to topple Galloping Deschamps, but hopefully he can run into the frame and put up a good show.
Yeah, he's only 7.5 lengths behind at Leopardstown the last day, so not to say he'd turn it round, but you could see him if he's within 7.5 lengths of Galloping Deschamps at the line. You'd think you're in the first 3, wouldn't you?
I'd say definitely in the first three if we were in 7.5 lengths to get up in the jump of the line. So yeah, look, we'll see. And it depends what way the race turns out as well. It could be interesting. I don't know what's going to take Gallop in the jump on. Will he make the running, or will Paul take a lead? I don't know what way it's going to work. But it's definitely going to be a small field Gold Cup compared to other years.
Yeah, and of course the great thing with Gallop and Deschamps, it doesn't matter what he does, he can ride him anyway. He's just such a talented horse, isn't he? He seems to settle whether he's in front, he can settle him in behind. He seems to have no issues with him at all. He's riding, just looks like an absolute dream, as you say. Anyway, moving on, the last couple of races on the day, we've got the Hunter Chase. Plan of Attack, will that go?
Yeah, Plan of Attack will run in the Fox Rider. He has won a couple of points this season and is in good form. So Fox Hunter form wouldn't be my strongest point now, but he'll definitely take his chance.
Yeah, of course, he knows Cheltenham like the back of his hand at this stage. I think he's run there 7 times before at Cheltenham between the festival and other meetings. Ran in that cross-country race a few times. I think he was third in it 2022. So he's getting on in years. But he's had a bit of a squeak at a big price, 25-1. But as I say, I'm like yourself. I wouldn't know the point-to-point form as well as I might the stuff on the track.
The only point the Hunter Chase I saw Sean Dye's horse winning in third. Will it go ahead? Sean has always thought an awful lot of him, so anyone having a little bet in the Fox Hunters, maybe will it go ahead for Sean Dyle will be interesting.
Great stuff. And then the last one, the Martin Pipe. I see you've got Tap on the Go, third to William Money, recently 10-1 chance. Will that run?
Yeah, hopefully so. Again, he won nice ground, and he's a really nice horse. Tap on the Go. He was lovely winner, won a maiden nicely in Tipperary earlier in the season when he beat McLowry, I think it was. That form was worked out nicely. So 2.5 miles on nice ground should definitely suit him. Not ideal that we've had to try and get 5 runs into him this season before Cheltenham. I think that is just a rule that needs to be looked at, because running a horse 5 times before the festival is not the right thing for horses to be done sometimes. So hopefully he has the constitution and can overcome that. But yeah, he go there in good form, and 2.5 miles on good ground would be bang up his street.
Yeah, great stuff. That's an interesting point you make about that, them having to run 5 times to run those handicaps. Yes, if it wouldn't suit all horses, that's the bottom line, isn't it?
In this day and age, most horses don't run 5 times in the season, never mind 5 times before March. So I just think that's a rule that needs to be looked at again. If the handicapper can't get a guide on a horse after 3 runs, well, maybe he shouldn't be doing the job.
There you go. That's a fair phrase. Look, Robbie, thanks for going through all these with us. And just finally, if you had to have one bet on the Bromhead horses over the week, which one would you pick?
I'm going to go for my old favourite, Bob Ollinger. I'll have a few quid each way on him in the stairs early.
Fantastic, Robbie. Well, look, the best of luck for the week. I hope yourself and Henry have a fantastic week and it all goes well. And we shall have more shows coming up over the week. So do make sure to subscribe to our channel if you haven't. Do gamble responsibly, and make sure you have a look at Boyle Sports as well. If you open an account with them and you bet a tenner, they'll give you 70 quid in free bets for the Cheltenham Festival. So can't be too bad there. All right, Robbie, thanks very much. Bye for now.
Vincent.